So, alright. More on this mass suicide programming. Where does it come from? Death wish programming also. Because, I mean, death wish isn't necessarily suicide, but it's still self-destruction. Kind of like in Terminator 2, he says, it's in your nature to destroy yourselves. I think sometimes the supernatural world and other people manipulate that that truth there. So false martyrdom in the name of like nationalism, like Braveheart programming. That's for instance, even though it's or like the Patriot. I mean, these are kind of like war propaganda films. I mean, every film about any war is normally is propagandized. So it's just comes with the territory because so much is obscured about so many things. Even though if it's about 80% true, you know, there's still 20% of mm, people's artistic, creative ability to change it and engineer it to in a suiting way. Um, so there's this rapper named AZ back in the day. He had a song that was called "More Money, More Murder, More Homicide. You better catch that body, better have the alibi." And then he was like, "You might catch that suicide." I mean, it was murder, homicide, suicide, all in one hook and a nice melody beat, like a classical almost like music. And these are those that the the New York rappers, man, in the '90s were heavy boule influence. So you got a lot of mystery school speech coming out of them, and they knew they were privy to the New World Order and all that because it was they were running in those circles in the rap game, the music game. It's all controlled, man, just like everything else. And that's the boule is the black branch of the skull and bones, and that's their niche. But they're still loyal to the other European powers of the Illuminati. That it even started before rap. You could see when it began, like Motley Crue era. I remember the song, man, 18 and life to go. And you know, I mean, that song was done in such a way that you almost feel like you know the guy that he's singing about. You know what I'm saying? So once again, this is more of that like 80s skid out, Generation X, predictive programming. You know, and I don't know, conditioning. And that's one of the ways. I mean, but you watch that movie Good Morning Vietnam, and through the whole movie, it's jamming music, and they use music kind of like they used to use the drummer boys. You know what I'm saying? But basically, they got to keep the drums of war going, man. And it's like the music helps drive them like a pack of dogs on a sled. Basically. And there's a lot of pro-war music these days. Like you can see, they went and weaponized even like new rock. They weaponized it. Like, what's that? Come on, get down with the sickness. That those guys, they've done a lot of kind of like uh borderline military industrial complex entertainment sponsored type of music. I mean, I actually think they did contract into or like let the body hit the look. That is though that's the drums of war. You know what I'm saying? And it's programming. Let the body. It just says it over and over and over and over and over. I mean, that's what they do when they put you through MK trauma. They put you in a chair, strap you there, and play something over to the point where you forget what's going on, and then you just wake up later all of a sudden like a UFO abduction, and you don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But someone will ring a bell later, and you'll hear that repetition later. And I mean, that's the way propaganda works: repetition, repetition, repeat the lie, repeat bullcrap. You know. So they do it with music, and this is a factual. There is demonization in music as well, and there's this dude, I think his name's John Todd or William Todd, and he showed how he said he was ex Illuminati music exec, and He played Led Zeppelin backwards, and basically this guy got disappeared in a mental hospital by the powers, by the real powers, the powers and principalities. Uh, Propaganda in music, like I was just mentioning, Bin Laden, weed. That was, listen, that's reinforcing this guy Bin Laden, which ain't even his real name. His real name was Tim Osman. Bin Laden is like uh, it's an alias. You know what I mean? That's which is pretty crazy. So it just also music is used in that manner, which and Bin Laden weed. I mean, and I mean the name of their record label or whatever is Hypnotize Minds. I mean, they're telling you right there. You got you see a lot of shooters that shoot a bunch of people, then shoot themselves. You know what I'm saying? That is also was a sought after uh, result that they wanted was someone who would whack a bunch of people and whack themselves. I mean, this fits into suicide programming and death wish programming. Uh, and supposedly they figured out how to be able to do this. That newer movie, the newer Born movie, where it was all chemical born. You know what I'm saying? Where the other dude was conditioning born. So they showed this guy. He went in all like a robot and shot everyone, then shot himself at the end. So that's Patsy effect, but that's also a part of suicide programming. That's a motive for even developing it in the first place. Plus, it's depopulation. Think about it. They want depopulation. So this way, you got plausible deniability. If people take themselves out, oh, I didn't do it. Uh, there's the motive because it's you could make anyone look like uh, you could muddy the waters to make it look like anyone was whatever. You can stretch it any way you want with anything, just straight fake, real intermixed with fake, or make something real appear fake. That works many ways. False martyrdom. This is another form of suicide death wish programming, like Achilles. Basically, his mythos is because of his death, he is immortalized through legend and remembrance. So, he's elevated, a mighty man of renown. He gets worship basically because of it, and this is part of their what I'm reading, what's going on, what they believe. It's like I think there's 1/3 of the Satanists who believe that this is all fake and you just keep getting reincarnated every time you die. So it does. That's the same thing as a suicide bomber. A suicide bomber believes he's gonna be his own god and he's gonna have his own planet and he's gonna have 70 broads to bang whenever he wants, however he wants. I mean, just think about that. That sounds to me like telling someone everything they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's not. See, heaven is more of earthly life. You know what I'm saying? In a way, it just scaled up a little bit. Yeah, I mean that's the way they shoot it off. And I see when you die, the body's gone. You're only an energy being. It's different, and you can be transformed there. And they believe that as well. They believe that I believe we'll be transformed in what we are because that's what the Bible says. We shall see each other as we are. And but they say like if you're evil, when you die, you will evolve into a demon god. Or if you're good, you will be reincarnated as a Buddha, Dalai Lama type, Gandhi type, or you know what I'm saying. You'll become eventually an ascended master. Uh, and the ascended masters always appear as Aryan. You know what I'm saying. And it sounds like the same the tricksters the agents of Ordo Ab Chao, the same ones throughout all history. It's crazy. All right, Bill Cooper has a episode called Assassins, and this is about assassin programming. Oh yeah, Achilles had a form of apothiosis. A man by his own might became a god, and it is remembered and worshipped. It's like that's a form of humanism. You see that in China a lot. That's where Buddha comes from. Is humanism. A man through his own strivings and his own will, I guess, can attain salvation. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever your desire. What is salvation to them? I'm not sure. It's got to be something different. Uh, you got to watch the double speech because not all these things are the same. Some things are very different. They might use the same terminology, but in double speak context. You know, it's really Heath Ledger and the Joker character. And there was another movie where it showed him with a pyramid on his forehead, noose around his neck. It looked like he was trained in this assassin's programming. Hey, just kill yourself and you'll be reincarnated in, you'll be your own god on your own planet. You'll have 70 broads to bang and you will have all the drugs you want and it'll be a big party and you'll be the guest of honor. And on the Bill Cooper Assassins programming showed how they would all the deception they would use, and they would use drugs and all this stuff to whip you up into a state where you believed that they could promise you heaven because they gave it to you already on earth while you're all wasted. And like Circle of Iron, this movie I think shows that aspect of things. So there's something called the Frankish Sabbateans. Chris Everard, the head of the snake, he talks about them, and they have this thing called creating your own myth and making it become a reality. And this is part of their Gnostic apothiosis humanism type of thing. And in a way, it's like if you're remembered forever, you get monuments and statues. Same reason they built pyramids. They wanted to be remembered forever. That's why they were trying to attain some kind of weird immortality, godhood, apotheosis. And let me see. All right, there's another thing that could be going on here. Is there's something called generational sacrifices. There's also could be something called your contracts up. I seen this video with this voodoo guy, this black magic guy, and he said he got powerful at using the spells, and he said he had a visit by a demon, and he called it Big Face, and this demon basically took him up in the sky and showed him the world and said, "Look, just give me your soul, and I'll guarantee you 10 years of paradise on earth." And the dude said he turned it down. But it's crazy that he said this. And then, look, the mind of the magician, they see the demon. But that also reminds me of Obama. There was an Obama speech recently where there, in the mirror behind him in the reflection, it looked like an alien. And it looked like it had a big face, big head, big eyes. Kind of like a Frankenstein looking gray. You know, like it almost did kind of look like Awaz of the Aleister Crowley definition or description. It's pretty crazy, this stuff. So this stuff is all up in it. False martyrdom, that's like Tupac getting killed by the Brotherhood to use him as a false martyr to start a race war. Look, John Lennon, like, and that was an intelligence hit, Catcher in the Rye hit, and it's obviously that was to hit the hearts and minds and traumatize, and then also once you're murdered, false martyrdom, you're immortalized now, but you don't benefit from it. You were used as a patsy. Only these people and their agendas and whoever's got the insurance policy on you benefits. You were just used and abused. You know what I'm saying? And that's therein lies the nature of this satanic evil trafficking of men's souls. And it's all tied into the same, you know, it's basically a Satanism. Satanism is anything that exalts itself against God, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of ways they try to do this. You know what I'm saying? And people have done it. Took in the bait. They believe the Bill Cooper assassin programming. You know what I'm saying? The suicide and the deltas and all that, and the betas and the monarchs.